Hey guys, Connor here. There are some noises this episode. I couldn't figure out how to get rid of them. I'm really sorry. I will hopefully they won't make next episode. Yeah, so sorry about that, but I hope you enjoy anyway. Cheers.
Tell me, though, what's his technique? That last strike, it seems invincible.
Hello and welcome to Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist podcast. My name is Connor McKenna.
I'm Rebecca Hart.
And Carl's note.
And today we're finally, after a few delays, covering Heroes for Hire number 1, 1997. So yeah, we've been doing this for a while, but yeah, we'll be doing the whole run. And, for some good times, a nice change of pace. This run was originally going to be done by Roger Stern, but he got busy and had to drop it, so John Ostrander took over for this first issue anyway. So there's no Iron Fist news or anything, obviously. Not much to talk about.
There is no Iron Fist, so
Yeah, so
just keep going.
Yeah, hop straight into this issue. But first, I want to thank our patrons, Ray and Derek. Thanks heaps, guys.
Thank you.
Help us keep the lights on here. And everyone else, check out our Patreon. There's some cool rewards there. So, yeah. Now, for the issue, I guess we'll just go straight to the cover. Heroes for Hire 1, first action-packed issue. I really like this cover. It's like a wraparound cover, so the back and the front is one large picture. But we'll just talk about the front, I guess. So we have Danny, posed in front of everyone, lifting his Iron Fist up. And then we have in the back, we have White Tiger, the female one. I don't know what her identity is yet, if it's that lady or not. Can't remember her name. And then we have...
No.
Oh, it's not her?
Well,
okay.
Well, we'll get there when it comes up in the comic, but yeah, no.
Yeah, she was a bit weird.
This one's even weirder, but this is cool.
Yeah.
This is quite a sweet story to unfold if you don't remember it.
Then we have Hercules, and then the Hulk in the back. Then we have Luke on the right, and that's Black Knight, right, on the far right in
That's
the back.
Black Knight, yeah.
And on the back, because it's kind of the same thing, we have I think the bad guys, U-Force, and prison blowing up, and then the mastermind dude looking evil. To combat an ancient evil, a new team of champions arises. Heroes for Hire, first action-packed issue. I really like the cover. What about you guys?
It's not my favourite art style, honestly, and the colour saturation is this is like so 90s immediately.
Yeah.
I like the team, I like the composition of the cover.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit wordy. There's a lot of first action packed and the whole to combat an ancient evil, a new team of champions. All right, it's all a bit much.
Yeah.
But I don't dislike it. I don't like the style of art throughout, so I'll keep saying that. But
Yeah.
I like it generally. Don't love it.
It's very Ed McGuinnessy, the art style. What about you, Carl?
I like it because Iron Fist is on it.
Yeah. No, that's a good. Yeah.
Other than that, I think it's just kind of generic, to be honest with you.
Okay.
The whole pose.
I guess
it's crooked, which bothers me.
It is generic, I guess, but the fact that I guess that's distracted by the roster for me. The fact that Iron Fist is front and center and like Hercules is there, I like Hercules and stuff. I think, you know,
Black Knight, I like him too. So they're the three that pull me in.
that's what makes the cover for me, and I like the art style. I have no problem with it on my end. Yeah. So let's read out the credits for this first issue. Roger Stern did the plot. John Ostrander did the script. Pasquale Ferry was the penciler. Jamie Mendoza was the inker. Jonathan Babcock was letterer. Joe Rosas colors. James Felder and Mark Bernardo editors. Bob Harris editor-in-chief. Special thanks to Joe Edkin. So yeah, actually, I am reading the physical issue for this, which Carl sent me the whole run ages ago. For when we inevitably do it, which is now. So all things Carl. And I also have you can get these in 2 trades as well. And it's called Luke Cage, Iron Fist, and the Heroes for Hire. Now, I don't know why Luke Cage's name comes first on those trades, because from this issue, you know, Luke's not in it that much. But whatever. So, yeah, we start off with a jailbreak.
Yep.
Basically, the vault, which is in the Rocky Mountains and has, you know, some of the worst prisoners, blah, 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 blah. You know, one of those super high security prisons full of super villains.
Yeah. It is a bit blah, blah, blah. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, there's like a jailbreak, you know, little scheme with this team, U-Force. UFOs. Oh, excuse me.
Well, it's a joke on UFOs, but
wow,
because they're baddies.
I didn't pick that up at all. I like, just in general, I found these guys really unremarkable. Is this like their first appearance, or?
I have no idea. Carl would know.
I would not.
Wow.
It seems like they seem generic, not that interesting, and extremely D-list.
Yeah. So there goes my strategy of Carl will know all the facts about this.
I know, right?
Because he likes this run. So for listeners, I've very notably read every single Iron Fist thing except for this run.
Oh wow.
So this is my first time reading the run. Because I was kind of saving it for the show, it'd be my first time, so I don't have extensive knowledge on it or anything, so I'm kind of just along for the ride. But yeah, I found these guys kind of lame. Very, like, you know, just very, like, blah design. Especially like, just having a super detailed character who's muscly, but he's one colour.
Yeah.
Incredible Hulk 254 in 1980 is their first appearance.
Oh. Wow. Yeah, well, there you go, guys. They exist. And, so they go in disguise, they free a bunch of, like, supervillains, and there's, like, a big panel, where there's, like, a bunch of villains escaping. I'm sure they're all someone. I don't recognize any of them.
I mean, they're not exactly drawn really well, so... I mean, the guy in the middle looks like Mole Man.
Oh, he does, yeah. I like the guy who looks like he just has a block for a head.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with that.
I like him as well.
So, do you recognise any of these colourful characters, Carl, on this panel?
I will agree the guy in the middle looks like Mole Man.
Phew.
The guy for the block for the head, he's actually a famous android villain who wound up working in She-Hulk's law firm. That dude's been around since like the frickin' 50s.
That's cool.
Oh, that
I'm
is
totally
cool.
blanking on his name though.
Yeah.
Somebody probably had a lot of fun, like, picking some obscure villains here for that little nod.
Yeah.
So that probably means they all are someone.
The
The
one
guy
in the
in
bottom
red.
kind of looked like Toad.
Yeah.
Mm.
The guy in the red could even be. I don't want to guess actually, because I'll just get wrong. I was going to say he looks a little bit Machine Man, but
I would say more Claw without the
yeah.
dish. Like they took the dish off his stump.
Yeah.
But anyway, so you can
Yeah,
have
it's not like there
fun
was
in
Doctor Doom in
your-
this prison.
Yeah.
So yeah, big prison break, and then a mysterious figure who I'm like, oh, that's White Tiger, even though I don't know who this White Tiger is. I'm just like, who else
But
is
it is
it gonna
White
be?
Tiger.
Yeah. She's watching, and the squad is called Trojan 2, Trojan 1 because they use the old Trojan trick. With the wooden horsey, just to diverge, everyone here knows what the weakest link is, right?
Yeah.
The game show?
Yeah,
It's
not
still
on.
going on down there?
Yeah, there was like an Australian version on, and this is not Iron Fist related, but who cares? So I was watching it, and one of the questions was, so what's the what? God, yeah, the question was like, where do Valkyries take the souls of fallen soldiers? And someone said the Trojan horse,
Bless.
and I thought that was just really funny because it's like,
It's funny.
getting the mythology wrong is one thing, but
Getting it that.
the question was like, what? It specifically was like, what hall do they get taken to? And like, well, the Trojan horse isn't a hallway.
Yeah.
And then,
I've been to Detroit.
really,
A very nice cat there.
did you kick the wall over?
So I was being a very good tourist.
And then
Right.
this same person got asked another question, like about our current opposition leader, and they got it wrong, and they thought it was our prime minister, and they teach. They are a tutor for history, so that was depressing. Yeah.
That is different. So.
I'm like, come on, really? Anyway, just that brief diversion. So, yeah, there's this big spooky mastermind guy. He's like, ooh, I'm going to save the world. But I'm going to be really evil about it.
And mysterious.
Yes. We don't see much of him. He's just in a chair. You see his eyes.
Yeah. And apparently he's threatening them with the fact that he saved their lives.
Yeah.
Yes. So now we're in New York City. Skyscraper HQ of Oracle Incorporated, which, as I recall, is Namor's corporation, right? Or Namor, how do you pronounce him?
I've always said Namor.
Yeah.
I've always said.
Of course, I've always said Shang-Chi, which apparently isn't correct.
Yeah, but the difference is Namor's not a name in another language.
Yeah.
So.
I'm pretty sure Namor owns Oracle, right?
I honestly don't know. This is like
Nor
was
do
my
I.
first interaction with Oracle was reading this comic, so I just kind of hand wave it as a big corporation that took over Ran.
So this, I know this shortly takes place after Iron Fist Resurrection, because Iron Fist died at the end of Power Man and Iron Fist. So we've talked about it before, but he turned out John Byrne retconned it, so he was a plant person, because John Byrne thought Iron Fist dying like that was stupid because of someone chucking a tantrum that they got cancelled. Their run got cancelled, I mean. So, thank you, Mr. Byrne. That's great. And we got Iron Fist back through, I believe, Namor met with Doctor Strange. There was a bunch of stuff that happened. It was like a subplot. But, I believe Iron Fist is now attached to Oracle, which is part of Namor's thing. I could be wrong. It's literally probably been 10 years since I've read that arc. and I don't plan on reading it again. I might, like, because it's not awful, but it's really kind of like a subplot in a Namor story, you know?
Yeah, and it's also got hideous art. So.
Yeah, and it really, like, that subplot exists to bring Danny back.
Yeah.
There are some cool moments, though. Like when they're trapped in, like, a glass bottle with a ship. But anyway,
Well, one of the interesting moments of that was fake Danny came back first.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. Yeah, it turns out... Well, that wasn't the same plant Danny, was it?
No.
That was a Super Scroll.
So now you've just ruined it for everyone.
Oh, I'm sure.
I wasn't going to go there.
Well, I mean, this is after that. Spoilers for Danny's resurrection in the 90s in the Namor comic. You know, I mean, look, if you're a completionist, it's worth reading. Because this reference, him dying is referenced, you know, now and then.
Yeah.
It's kind of part of his, you know, it's not exactly like the death of Superman, but it's still there. So, he's later free from stasis, Namor Submariner. I was trying to figure out what year that was. Namor the Submariner 22. Let's have a look. No, we don't want that one. We want the 90s one. Root of Evil. There we go.
91, 92.
Okay, yeah. So it was actually a fair bit after that. But I feel like this is his first major gig.
There was a limited series
Yes.
a year earlier.
Yeah.
But like a 2-issue limited series.
Is that the really awful artwork one?
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
every page is like 2 million scribbles.
Yeah.
The penciler and inker
It's
was nuts.
it's quite a good interaction between Davos and Danny,
Yeah,
but I really dislike it in terms of art. So.
and it's a time. I don't know if it's the first time, but it's a time where multiple Iron Fists are a thing.
Yeah.
That is mentioned. That's worth reading for like a history completionist thing.
It's worth reading because it's a decent story, but it's
the art. So it's kind of weird though. It's like this 2-issue story that starts off with like Davos having done some weird stuff. We'll probably talk about it eventually.
He removes the Iron Fist. Yeah, we should do that one sometime. It's an interesting story.
Yeah, I like all the solo Iron Fist stuff. But anyway, so yeah, at the skyscraper HQ of Oracle Incorporated, inside an upper floor training center, Daniel Rand, aka Iron Fist, hones his martial arts mastery with robotic components, especially programmed for the purpose. So basically, he's sparring a bunch of robots. And I was talking to Rebecca about this earlier. I'm like, it's weird how like good I feel when I just see Iron Fist, you know, using martial arts and looking like really proficient and fighting a bunch of robots. I'm like, man, us Iron Fist fans have it rough if this is like a rare thing now, right? Like he's just, you know,
it's super rare. Well, we had the Brisson one. He was pretty competent fighting.
Yeah. But it's just like, damn. But anyway, it's a cool sequence. And so, like, as he trains in this kind of room, he has monitors all around him, keeping track of what's happening in the city, so he can hone his mind as well as his body. And so I like, it's like a Foggy Nelson or Daredevil cameo where Foggy is denying that Daredevil's a mutant.
And above that, the mysterious new group known as the Thunderbolts is taking New York by storm.
Yeah.
That puts it in context of timing.
Yeah.
If you weren't sure.
And this is just after Onslaught.
A great run, and it might possibly be a television show on Disney Plus.
Of course,
there's rumors on that.
What might?
Thunderbolts.
Oh, yeah. Thunderbolts, I fully expect to be somewhere in the MCU shortly.
Just assume they're doing everything. If someone told me they're adapting Iron Fist getting resurrected in Namor, I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, Onslaught, I've never read Onslaught, but like I know about it because it was like all the heroes disappeared, so all the stuff I read around that time was constantly like Onslaught. So, and this is also, at the same time, there was a story arc called Heroes Reborn running around. So like, didn't they literally just do this? All the heroes disappeared, and they had an event called
and they're
Heroes
doing
Reborn.
it. Yeah.
I'm like, come on, Marvel, you're recycling the same events and names from the 90s? Jesus. But anyway, Iron Fist gets distracted by the news that there's been a huge prison break in the vault. And then so all the robots wrap around him, but then he just channels his Iron Fist and smashes everything.
Yeah.
And then we get Jim Hammond, the original Human Torch, which is cool.
He's an android.
Oh,
We know.
yeah.
He's still the original
I
Human Torch.
I completely forgot he was an android, but yeah. And so he is with Oracle, and Rand Meacham is a subsidiary of Oracle. So they're talking,
And just so the listeners know, in case they don't know this, he's not android like Machine Man. He's android like Bishop from Aliens.
You mean like in the fact that he looks like a person, or?
Well, he's guts. He's not robotic. He was built.
Oh, right.
He's synthetic.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, so talk about how the world's scary now because of Onslaught. All the heroes are gone and stuff. See, I quite like how Daddy is drawn and the fight scene with him and the robots is drawn. I know it's
Yeah, but that close up of his face, I can't stand.
Yeah,
The
I mean,
eyebrows slowly rolling down his nose.
Just the eyebrows, like everything.
Bit
These
close up.
massive eyes.
So Daddy's like, maybe we can do something about it. Do something about it soon, because there's a big gap without the heroes. And then we cut to Hulk, who apparently has no Bruce Banner in him, or something's going on where he's just more Hulk than human.
Yeah.
Every time I check in on the Hulk, something like this is going on. So he gets attacked by the UFOs, who are able to, it's like a sort of misty person who's able to just go inside people's lungs and stuff, it looks like. But the Hulk fights them, they take out the Hulk pretty easily, actually.
Yeah, really easily compared to how we're used to seeing him.
I mean, I prefer Hulk like this than Worldbreaker Hulk, which is kind of absurd for me.
Yeah, but somewhere in between.
Yeah,
for
fair.
me,
Maybe
this
these
just
guys
seems
are
very
just
easy
that
considering
dangerous.
how deep. Yeah, but they're not though, are they? I mean, that's the problem. Is he's a bit. They're so D-list that seeing them get the Hulk, but clearly there's something up with the Hulk, so it's kind of alright. Whatever.
And then I really liked this next part. So we go to the Gem Theater. Because I mean, this is kind of, I want to say it's a sequel to the original Power Man and Iron Fist run, but this is like the next run.
It feels like it, yeah.
With those two, because there's like a letters page at the back, which is essentially just an introduction.
Yeah.
And I read that, and that was interesting. So we'll talk about that at the end. But the Gem Theater, and so
I always like going back to the Gem.
Yeah, and they're back watching westerns. Rio Bravo this time. And I like this. I'll read it out. Cage has always loved movies, back when he was wrongfully imprisoned, way before the experiment that gave him his steel-hard skin and extraordinary strength. The movies they showed him in prison gave him one breath of freedom. You could trust a good film more than the so-called real world. Once he knew it, you loved it. A movie would never change on you, not like time or people or the so-called real world. I quite like that little bit there, because I like movies too, and they're comforting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's not currently superheroing, from what I understand.
Doesn't look like it. It looks like he's just chilling out. He's bought the gem, which is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so Iron Fist shows up in costume and offers him some popcorn.
Popcorn, which is sweet. This is lovely.
Yeah. And basically, Danny gives him a pitch. He's like, let's be the heroes for hire again. And Luke says, no, I'm done with the superhero thing. But he says he can use the name if you want to. And I thought that was nice.
Yeah.
And Danny's like, man, I thought if anyone would join, Luke would. If I can't get Luke to join, maybe this isn't such a good idea after all. And he's being stalked by weird cat lady, White Tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't talked about the art much, but it's kind of, we've described the sort of the style, the sort of Ed Beginners type style. It's like quite cartoony and like it's just kind of like that for the whole issue. So
Yeah,
when
a
there's
bit
something
hatching, cross hatching, and
yeah,
Well, I think it's interesting, like the UFOs definitely look like they were drawn by Bart Sears. And then later on in the run, Bart Sears actually does draw the comic.
okay.
uh,
So we cut to the UN, and a bunch of scientists, eggheads as they are, nerds, they are discussing Onslaught, and they're sort of looking at a picture of the Hulk. Like they're trying to work out how we can not have something like this happen again. So I think back then Onslaught was like a pretty big deal, right? Like I think
yeah, it's huge.
it was a bigger deal than it is now if all the heroes go missing, because events I think were less frequent.
Events don't seem to change as much.
Yeah.
Now they tend to just be there and then go.
That being said, I do remember an event during the 80s, I think, where all the heroes, all the like Avengers and stuff disappeared. It was like a red sky and stuff. Because I remember reading Daredevil, and it was talking about it. So still
Yeah,
hardly
I mean,
nothing.
it happens. It's not an unfamiliar idea.
Yeah,
It's just a case of how they do it.
yeah, yeah. So they're trying to work out how to stop it happening again. They're pointing out like not even the Hulk could stop Onslaught, and then the UFOs come in. Some of this dialogue is like, "Don't blame them, egghead, blame me." Like it seems very,
Yeah.
very dated. A lot of this dialogue.
I think it was some history that they got their powers the same way the Fantastic Four did, going up in a rocket and letting the cosmic rays zap us.
Yeah.
So now you know.
Check out this scientist with like the big red beard and the glasses. He
I
looks
love
like
him.
a mad scientist, you know.
Yeah.
Looks like Eggman from Sonic before he gained the weight.
Yeah, he does. That's what
He
it
does,
reminded me
yeah.
of. Yeah. But he runs into the Hulk.
Literally runs in.
Yes. Yeah. No, absolutely. Like, yeah, face plants into him. And the Hulk looks like he's being controlled because he's talking, but it has like a different speech bubble. And yeah, then we cut to Hercules.
And look at that woman's like ankles. Like, seriously.
I just saw that. I mean, I wasn't I wasn't even looking at the ankles, but that is absurd.
Next
it's like
to
a
Herc's
Picasso,
feet.
you know.
Like people do not understand anatomy.
Yeah, you're right. There's some crazy things going on.
Crazy.
What's with the guy
90s
behind
were
him
a wild
doesn't look
time.
like human. He doesn't look human.
No. And then you've got the guy with his platforms on
Yeah,
and frilly shirt.
but Hercules just hanging out at a bar. Apparently, at this point, his divinity's been stripped from him. So we will see how that plays out later, I'm sure. Because
What's the name of Captain Britain's wife? Megan?
Megan.
That looks like Megan to me.
Well, yeah, but Megan's part Fae,
Mm-hmm.
so she doesn't have to have human anatomy as much.
That
And
hair's
even
not
she
human.
doesn't have, like, the hair's very Megan, and the eyes, but
Yeah, originally I thought this lady was someone, but I don't think she is someone. She's just
she's
No.
just
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I think I know who you guys are talking about. Is she in Excalibur, the team?
yes.
Yeah.
Does she have like the elf ears?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I originally thought it might have been her as well.
Yeah, that's Captain Britain's wife.
Because of the green.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Nope.
I want to know how Hercules puts those pants on.
Yeah.
He's a god. Okay, well, demigod.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what's going on with him, but so Guy tries to hit him with a chair, which he quite likes. He throws them both out a window. The
Barman's not
yeah,
very
barman's not
impressed.
happy, but he gives him a literal pouch of gold coins.
And then he's alright. He's like, okay, destroy my place if you want. I don't
Yeah.
mind.
It's like a weird costume Herc has going on. It's very 90s.
Yeah.
But I like Hercules, so yeah. And so he goes off with weird ankle lady, and then there's a bunch of other ladies who's with him that might have weird ankles too. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, it's just it's introducing us to him. Very womanizing,
That's
drinking.
Herc the head of this.
Pardon?
Herc as a hedonist.
Right, yes. And he sort of describes, he's regaling them with his tales of his adventures. And he's like, he tells about the greatest assemblage of heroes he has ever known, the Avengers. Even though he sailed with Jason and the Argonauts, he has never known comrades so mighty or noble. So, it's a cool page, I think, where he's talking about the Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it has two teams. It's him with the more classic Avengers, and then him with the more modern lineup. It looks like.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's cool. It's like got space in the background as well. I much prefer his outfit on the top than the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoilers. Hercules is one of the 3 founding members we get of Heroes for Hire in this issue. So, yeah. And then he sees on the television that the hostage situation at the United Nations, and that the Hulk's there. So he's like, alright, well, if the Hulk's there, I gotta go beat him up. if he's turned evil. Because he has a kind of rivalry with the Hulk.
Yeah.
Because they're both strong.
Strength things, yeah.
And then we get Danny. I like this shot of Danny, but I'm sure you guys will point out something weird that I didn't notice that'll ruin it for me.
No, I don't mind that. But other than I don't love the art style generally. I think it's quite nice, quite ominous. I think we should see him like that more often.
Yeah.
It's a good angle.
It is. It's serious, Danny. Again, we usually point out when he's not creepy. He's not creepy at all in this. Which again, I think really started with Immortal Iron Fist. Which is still a good run.
Yeah.
But yeah. So... yeah, this is a weird. Luke thinks I'm all pie in the sky nobility, but if only he knew. But I don't dare tell anyone, not yet. Is this? Do you guys know what that's referring to?
Yeah.
Is it something that's coming up?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. All right, because I was a bit confused.
Yeah, I can understand why you'd be confused. This is clearly what we're adding to the.
Yeah.
Thing. And by the way, Jim Hammond, do you know who that cat is that he has with him? I wonder if Carl knows.
It looks like the Red Lantern cat.
It is. I believe. I'm not 100% certain about this, so I'm prepared to be wrong if anybody wants to tell me I'm wrong. But I think it is Hairball. aka Niels, who is a pet Avenger in a different Earth.
Huh. That's cool.
Because I think in the 616, I believe, I've read the comic where this happens, I just don't know if it's before this one. Jim ends up looking after Niels.
Oh, okay.
And he can make his body warmer, because Human Torch, so he makes it nice and warm for the kitty.
That's a cool connection. Well,
I didn't even notice that this panel before, but Niels is a ginger cat, so I don't know what order the comics are in. So it may just be that Jim likes cats, but
yeah, it seems like a big coincidence.
It seems like a good chance that it could be Speedball's cat.
Yeah. So Danny gets a call from Hammond saying that informing him about the situation at the UN. So Danny, he's currently in a limo actually.
Not for long.
Yeah, no, he goes out the sunroof
with
and
a
he
skylight. Yeah.
starts hopping over cars to get to doing some parkour to get there.
It's great though. You're right. It's just nice seeing him go out and do his thing.
Yeah, which is like, it's just kind of sad, that we're like this.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's being Iron Fist. Wow, that's, yeah, so minutes later, he's arrived at the UN building. Might be his most impressive feat in the whole comic is, like, getting there so quickly.
Yeah.
And
through the sewers, up down.
They have orders to help him. The cops have orders to help him any way possible. So Danny sneaks in through a manhole that'll lead him into the building, and they're like, "Good luck, pal. With the Avengers going, we need all the help we can get against these metahuman types." So it's an interesting premise, like how the heroes are gone, so Iron Fist is trying to like fill the gap. I like that.
Yeah.
He's kind of stepping up. But yeah, he's sneaking around in the sewers. He's realizing how outnumbered he could be, because he's like not sure he could take the Hulk by himself. And there could be like heaps of other people as well in that room.
Yeah.
So, and this is Danny before his immortal power up as well. So, but yeah, he's like, wait, I'm not alone in here. And then he spots weird cat person, the White Tiger. And she's like, impressive, I make no yours. Yet you sense my presence, you would make a great hunter. So Danny's like...
True, he would make a good hunter.
Yeah. Danny's got like a specific pose that's like... there's like it made me laugh because there's like a sort of different applications for that pose, but the one I like, which is, not which is I'm sure exaggerated, but like ripping someone's testicles out and holding them in that fist. So for me, when I saw Danny do that pose, I'm like, oh, it's the testicle ripping pose. He's just using it as his like ready pose.
Oh my lord.
But yeah, so she's like, ooh, I've been following you. If I meant you harm, I could have killed you. You never would have seen me. And so Danny's like, all right, well, what do you want then? And she wants a hostage situation. And they bow to each other. And he's like, let's work together. And Daddy points out the White Tiger he knows was a male.
Yeah.
So he's not quite sure who this person is. I'm sure they set up a few times in this issue that she has a sort of complicated backstory that we'll get. Can't say I really care.
Fair. No, that's totally fair. I mean, like,
yeah,
there's
I guess
no reason for you to care yet.
Yeah.
Or ever, particularly. But I mean, like, I think on what we've seen of her so far, you don't know much about her except she seems to be tracking what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm at this point, I'm more interested in like Luke Cage, Hercules, and the Hulk as potential sort of recruits. But I guess for like people who are big White Tiger fans, maybe it would have been like a big deal. Like, who is this person? How does it tie into White Tiger? But yeah, so they're spying on the UN thing. They reach like a vent, and White Tiger kind of asks Danny why he's doing this. And Danny says they need help, and I was available. And then he asks, "What's your story?" And she's like, "It's long and intricate, you know." So he's spying on them, and he notices a control chip on the back of the Hulk, and they're sort of
and all the scientists are getting their brains sucked out by whatever they got stuck in their foreheads.
Yeah, there's some
all their knowledge.
Yeah, so there's some sort of scheme going on here that we don't know about yet, like what the purpose is. So planning a strategy, and then Hercules bursts through the wall. Ho, avant base villains.
Leroy Jenkins.
For thine acts of infamy, thou must now answer to Hercules, which I quite like, this intro. And then he immediately gets, because A, he's not as powerful as he used to be, and they're using like this, acid all over him. He's like, something's burning me all over. Fun fact, that's how he dies in the mythology. He gets, acidic poison all over him. But not sure if that was deliberate or not. But anyway, so Danny and White Tiger decide to burst in. Everyone starts fighting. Well, sort of. Danny goes to Hulk, and he's trying to get through to him mentally. Which is probably a smart idea. And so that's where Danny notices the thing on the back of Hulk's neck. So he tries to take it off, but it seems welded to his neck. So he uses the Iron Fist and smashes it, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, it's always good when people actually do the sensible thing. And it's kind of nice because you know that the Iron Fist won't hurt Hulk too much because we've seen him before.
Yeah, and he's like focusing on that gizmo as well. So it's good that, they didn't go through like a whole he tries to fight the Hulk sequence. He just uses brains. And Hulk's like, hey, you guys don't control me anymore. Guess who's not happy with you people? And he, turns the tide, as it were. He does like a big thunderclap. Hercules throws that silver guy at him. Like all these guys.
Ironclad.
Yeah, sorry, but all the UFOs really blend for me. Like
Yeah, I have no idea which one's which. I mean, if I had to work it out, I'd probably read it and work it out, but they're all just like, their whole purpose is to bring the team together, so
yeah, the team itself is much more interesting. This silver guy, is he the guy in gold at the start of the issue?
I don't know.
Okay,
I think so.
So could he like change color, or is he?
No, that was their disguise to get into the prison.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, so Hulk makes short work of that guy. Hercules punches him to him, and then Hulk also punches him. And we have Hercules saying he's thinking he's very weak and in slow to recover since Zeus stripped him of immortality. So I'm not sure what the exact deal there is. I'm not sure if he's like even like pre-god Hercules anymore, or if he's just like a strong guy now.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But it looks like we'll find out more about that, which is cool. And the villains retreat. They make a villainous retreat. We'll deal with you later. Hercules wants to give chase, but then Iron Fist is like, we got to help the wounded. And they get the discs off, and they leave no permanent damage, apparently. And Hulk has blue pants, not purple here. Just thought I'd point that out. I always like the Hulk's haircut when he's Hulk. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's cool. It's probably the nearest to my haircuts. Like, someone who cuts their own hair.
So we have the wrap up. Scientists, like a news report, the scientists are freed. They'll make full recoveries. Eyewitnesses have confirmed that a superpowered terrorist group called the UFOs are responsible for the attack. They've also been identified as the ones responsible for the breakout earlier. And examinations made on the discs used by the UFOs to control scientists have confirmed that the technology was created by the master criminal known as the Controller. The UFO spoke of some master or boss to whom they were reporting, and that the authorities are speculating, blah, 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 that the Controller is the mastermind in question. And then she interviews Iron Fist.
A key figure in wrestling masters.
Yes. And the reporter asks if Iron Fist had joined the UFOs and was part of the attack, and then Iron Fist says the Hulk was as much of a victim of the UFOs as were the scientists. He was being manipulated by them. And he used that opportunity to announce that the Heroes for Hire are back in action. They plan not to act as vigilantes, but as hired employees for those needing help working for a nominal fee. So for a small donation to Oracle's charitable causes, you can call Heroes for Hire. We had a fun Spider-Man cameo here, saying that's the first track to bankruptcy court. I'm assuming you can donate like $2 and hire them. I'm not sure.
Maybe. Who knows? Yeah.
Because again, Daddy and Heroes for Hire, like, come on.
I'm not really sure what. I don't really understand it's the fast track to bankruptcy court, but oh well.
I guess because it's like
I
a
don't
very.
Need to. I think it's cute, but like.
Yeah, well, I guess because it's like he's like, you can pretty much pay us like nothing, almost nothing, and you can hire us. But yeah, which is nice because Danny doesn't need money. The eternal struggle of like, we know why Danny does Heroes for Hire and Power Man and Iron Fist, but at the same time,
he doesn't really need
it's a stretch just to justify the setup.
Yeah.
So it's kind of justified here, and then they have a yacht owned by Oracle Incorporated. So this yacht is it's like a futuristic submarine looking yacht.
Yeah.
But Danny says when he offered the Hulk a place with them, he just laughed in his face and said, "Been there, done that," and jumped away. Hulk doesn't seem like a team player, really. So they're talking about how they need members.
Yeah.
And Jim's like, "Hey, you're the only hero for hire at this point." And then Iron Fist is like, "Oh, I don't think that's true. Am I right, Hercules?" And then Hercules is like, "Yep. I want to join you as long as it amuses me, and I'm sure that I can convince this lovely lady to accompany us." He's got him and White Tiger have like their hands all over each other, which is weird, whatever. And White Tiger's like, "I will stay for now." So, yeah, we have our 3 founding members.
Yep.
Which is cool. Because I really like Iron Fist and Hercules, and it's cool that they're on a team together. Which is like,
yeah.
Obviously this has been around for a while, but it's like it's a team up you wouldn't expect to see.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Totally, out of nowhere team up.
Yeah. So it's really cool seeing like a team that's not sort of standard. And I'm sure Black Knight's another example that'll join later. But so Danny's like, yeah, there's 3 of us, and there'll be more to follow, I'm sure. And Danny suspects that White Tiger has ties to Kunlun.
Dun dun dun. She doesn't.
Oh, thanks, Carl, for spoiling that. Not that I cared that much, to be honest, but so we cut to Evil Mastermind Man, or whatever,
Who was the Controller trapped in a tank? Right? That's who that is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't even notice that dude. Because I was distracted by, like, him.
Yeah.
like ridiculous outfit. But yeah, he totally has the
MC Hammer
controller.
pants.
Yeah, the controller is totally trapped in a tank in the back.
He has very small ankles too, though. I'd just like to point out.
Yeah. That's
But
it.
he also has like one of those. What's the not Master of the Universe? What Battle of the Planets helmet?
It's pretty goofy.
Yeah. If for anyone old enough to remember Battle of the Planets, is a Battle of the Planets.
Or G-Force, as it was also called here.
Oh, okay. There's the translation.
So we get the UFOs reporting to him. They're like, we could have taken them, and then he's like, oh, but I might still have use for them. You know, if they're easily manipulated. Blah blah blah. Villainy. Blah. And yeah, he's like, I'm going to save the world and become master of the world and all this destiny stuff. You know, whatever. The heroes are more interesting for me than the villains in this. I think the heroes.
I mean, the
issue,
villains are
definitely.
really just here to bring the heroes together.
Yeah.
In this issue.
They're a plot device.
Yes. And that's the end of the issue. Next, Nitro, more of Luke Cage, and the return of the Black Knight. Should we talk about the letters page after our thoughts of the issue, or should I just briefly
I
talk
didn't read
about
the
it
letters
now?
page, so...
Nor did I.
Also, there was
So
no
it's all
letters, because obviously it's the first issue, but the guy, what's his name? His humble neo-editor, Mark Bernardo, he essentially talked about how much he loves Power Man and Iron Fist, and that their relationship is, like, he pretty much says their relationship is going to be the heart of this run. Which could be the case. I haven't read the whole run, but I thought that was cool to read. Because, like, Luke wasn't in it that much, but he pretty much says, like, the run's going to be about them.
Yeah.
And he also says, like, hey, we know everyone on the cover hasn't joined the team yet, but he literally says by issue 4 the full team will be there, but someone will have left. So he's, like, giving it a lot of spoilers and teasers, which I think is cool. Like, he's just being very open about it. And he's just gushing over, like, the book. He seems like a genuine fan of Power Man Iron Fist. Like, he even references stuff we've covered. Like, issue 75, crossover with Daredevil. And he says the confrontation with Constrictor and Sabretooth is his favourite Sabretooth story.
Cute. Yeah, that makes sense.
And, you know, gasping in horror at the totally unexpected and shockingly brutal death of Iron Fist in issue 125. Fortunately, that Byrne fellow decided Danny Rand was just too cool a character to leave dead and brought him back very cleverly in Namor, the same book that introduced Oracle Incorporated, backers for our Heroes for Hire Inc. And there's one part where I thought was funny. He's talking about, I remember the enjoyable Joe Duffy, Kerry Gamble run with such odd and wonderful characters as El Aguila, Montenegro. And I'm like, wow. And he even talks about the colours by Frank Miller.
I love him.
So, yeah, this is a very fun thing to read. And then he talks about the talent a lot. But, yeah, big fan of Power Man and Iron Fist, it looks like. So, yeah, and he got me excited for the rest of the run. But I was already, because I enjoyed this first issue. Again, I really like this team lineup. I think it's really cool. And it's cool to see Danny in a leadership position again.
Yeah, that's nice.
Seeing him lead a team that's not the Immortal Weapons. So, yeah.
This is so old that their email address is AOL.com.
So, next issue, Iron Fist's fledgling superhero strike force faces their first deadly mission. Take down the destructive rampage of the man who gave Captain Marvel cancer, Nitro, the Exploding Man. And what is this volatile villain's connection to the mysterious mastermind revealed this issue? Meanwhile, Luke Cage is forced into a confrontation with the deadly UFOs, with no teammates to back him up. There's going to be a lot of sass coming from Luke, I bet.
Yeah.
And don't miss the most styling development yet in the life of our newest member, the Black Knight. The action and drama are non-stop in our second sensational issue, Be Here or Be Unenlightened. Yeah, I really enjoyed this issue. Again, I said the bad guys are, as Carl pointed out, they're a plot device, but I love this hero team line-up. It's great. I can't wait to see them interact more, you know? And I like the art style. Like, it's an art style I just kind of like going back to, you know, because I would see these when I was growing up, these types of comics, so, yeah. What about you guys?
I think I prefer the run than I like this issue.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. It's very much a setup issue. It's fine.
Yeah.
It does its job.
Carl? Again, I really like Danny's role in this issue as well.
He's very Batman-ish.
Shh.
What?
Nothing. What's that? There's no bat here. But Carl, what did you think of the issue?
Oh, I enjoyed it, and the series itself just keeps getting better.
Yeah.
I love this version of White Tiger. I would have liked to see it play out differently, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, but I think we know what's to come, and I agree. It is a cool. I like some of the curveballs we get in this run.
And whenever I mention this run to anybody, they're always like, "Oh, I love that run."
Nice. Yeah. Fun fact, Carl, as I mentioned before, Carl got me all these floppy issues, and he's wanted to do this for ages. And we just never really couldn't fit it in, and this is also, I think, one of our first ever requests from Phil Parrish from Capes and Lunatics wanted us to cover this run. So we got there, Phil. We got there about a year, maybe more, after you requested. But we're here. And he did leave a bit of feedback for us as well. So
cool.
I'll get that up. So Phil, for the first issue, he says, one of the best books of 1997. This series is what made me a fan of Danny Rand. That's really cool to hear. So I can't wait to read more, you know, to sort of think about what this book would be like for someone's first ever exposure to Iron Fist, you know. Or maybe not first ever exposure, but, you know, for someone who was made a fan of Iron Fist from this book, I think that's cool. I could have used more head injuries and flashbacks personally, but maybe next issue. You know.
Still early.
Yeah. But I'm happy. This is a happy place to be, especially after certain recent events. And, Power Man and Iron Fist is good. It's fun. We just need a break, you know. We've been doing that a long time. But we will still be doing that occasionally. I still plan to do that Power Man and Iron Fist 76 crossover with the Daredevil guys. That's just on hold for now, until everyone's available. So I'm not sure when that'll be. It's just be at some point, really. And yeah, well, if no one else has anything to add, do we want to wrap up?
That's all,
Yes,
folks.
that's all I have to say. Come back for the next one. It's a fun run.
Yeah. I think it'll be cool to have one of us not having read it before going in blind, because I've tried to avoid. Like, I know Quicksilver plays a large part at one point, but other than that, I don't really know anything about it. So, it'll be fun.
I'm amazed that we haven't said anything about it in passing. Like, it's kind of cool.
And
Omar should be with us for 2.
Yes, he couldn't join us today, but he does say that he loves how fun this issue is, and he's glad to see Danny showing the leadership skills that Omar always brought to light when he's with other superheroes. That's true. Cool. So until next time, may your may your testicle ripping go as planned.
Oy.
Whoa. Yeah.
Peace.
Adios.
Iron Fist and all other characters in these comics are properties of Marvel and Disney. Any music or images we use belong to their respective copyright holders. We do this for fun, so please don't sue us. You can contact us at sonsofthedragonpodcast@gmail.com. Just send us mail, comments, thoughts, anything you want really. It doesn't even have to be related to Iron Fist. If you don't want it read on the air though, make sure you mention that. You can also find us on Facebook, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast, Sons of the Dragon, our Twitter, at Iron Fist Podcast, our SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Sons of the Dragon, hyphens where the spaces are, our YouTube, Connor Carl, just search Iron Fist Podcast and you'll find us real quick. We are also on iTunes. If you find us there, give us a review and rate us. If it's less than 5 stars, please say why so we can improve the show. And we're on Podcast Garden in the literature section, and last but not least, head over to our WordPress, Sons of the Dragon, the Immortal Iron Fist Podcast.wordpress.com. That's where I put all the show notes. I'd like to thank Thomas Tissot for composing the Iron Fist theme song we use at the start of our Iron Fist episodes on the podcast. I'd also like to thank Peter John Sikorsky for composing the Power Man and Iron Fist theme we use at the start of our Power Man and Iron Fist episodes. And finally, thanks to you guys for listening.